I'd like to be able to say it gives me great pleasure to be standing here given this closing address, but I say so with very mixed emotions because it has been a wonderful 3.5 years, and we're not quite finished yet, but it has been a wonderful 3.5 years working with you all. And the last 2 days have been wonderful as well. We've had great meetings, etc. So Vladimir and I are kind of just going to close off this conference. I just have a few small slides to present. Vladimir, would you like to add anything there?
Yes, thank you, Suzanne. We spent really 2 wonderful days here in Brussels, in the heart of Europe. Please don't go outside after this because it's 35, 36 degrees. Little joke. I would like to thank a lot to all participants who find time and energy and power to come here in Brussels and to share those 2 days a lot of ideas about their work, about your work as well, and also it was very satisfactory to have around 10 persons with intellectual disabilities. We still have a lot of work, as the chair says, Suzanne. We should probably publish the book of abstracts, and I will ask all of the presenters after this conference. You will get some instructions, and after that we will prepare a book of abstracts. Probably also the posters will be shared on the website. And I would like to ask all of you to follow our recommendations and also to follow our deadlines. And regarding the dissemination, where I am the chair of the WG4 group, if you share some photos on the social media, please do it with hashtag CUPID, final conference, cost action, then Brussels, cancer prevention, and intellectual disabilities. These are the key words. And also, I would like to say warm thanks to Cost Office and to the representative Madame Rosella Magli, who I know her from almost 10 years. We are very thankful because the Cost Office recognized this project proposal, and I hope that the money which Cost Office gives to this action are not thrown in the air, but are spent really on a good way. So, Suzanne?
Perfect. So, I'm just going to run through a few short slides. I promise it's not going to be death by PowerPoint, but we opened the conference by discussing, the journey that brought us to today. But the key question we all had, well, what is our legacy and where to from here? Quo vadis, where do we go from here? So, we're very well aware at this stage why CUPID matters, and that we're all very aware of the cancer inequalities. Reflecting on the outputs of 4 years of collaboration, Working Group 1, we have a wonderful evaluation protocol developed. We have developed this protocol which will be used by services. We've created Service and Easy Read assessment tool. It has been validated through expert consultation across 17 countries, and we've produced training materials, publications, and implementation guidance. And that was just Working Group 1. Looking then at what Working Group 2 did, they focused on policy audit and evaluation. They reviewed cancer prevention and screening policies across Europe. They've identified significant gaps in visibility of people with ID and national policies. They've created a framework to analyse policy and recommendations, and as we heard from Sarah Collin this morning, that is quite unique. And they've tested approaches for prioritising reasonable adjustments in screening services. Working Group 3 looked at how we advance evidence and practice, and they were working on developing the European Research Agenda for Equitable Cancer Prevention. They conducted workshops, training activities, and the systematic review of reviews, which we're all looking forward to reading, which will identify the barriers and facilitators to cancer prevention and screening. And finally, to Vladimir and Working Group 4, which focused on communication and dissemination. We have a lovely CUPID website, a very informative one. I encourage people to utilise it. Vladimir mentioned there, like from this conference, we're going to be putting up the posters and the book of abstracts. We have a lot of accessible dissemination materials produced and easy read resources. And Vladimir and his team supported recruitment, networking, training schools and conferences. So overall, our impact. We have strengthened collaboration across 38 European countries and over 300 members. We have embedded the participation of people with intellectual disabilities throughout our work, and I think that is something we can be very proud of. We have gained from listening to those experts, and we've generated evidence to support future European guidelines and service improvements. So, we have a European network. Okay, and it's wonderful. It's a multidisciplinary network with researchers and clinicians and advocates, and we're all connected with evidence and gaps identified, lived experience engaged, and visibility raised. But there are still challenges. That very much came out from that panel discussion. There are still gaps in what we don't know. There's still full areas underexplored. There's still inequities in healthcare provision. And research findings don't automatically lead to policy change or service redesign or workforce training or accessible prevention programs. That just gives you an idea of the scale of the challenges that are out there. So what I'm suggesting and what we're suggesting from CUPID is that we engage with the EU Health Policy Platform. So it's DG Santé's stakeholder engagement platform for European health policy. I've just shown you a picture of the website. I encourage you all to look at it, and I encourage you all to register on it. It's run by the European Commission's Director General for Health and Food Safety, DG Santé. It's an online collaborative platform for health stakeholders across Europe. And the key points: the platform serves as a forum where healthcare organisations and professionals and researchers and patient advocacy groups and European Commission can exchange information and discuss health policy issues. And I really believe that for cancer prevention and people with intellectual disabilities, we must be on that platform. We must be engaging with that platform. And members can share news and documents and events and webinars and good practices and participate in thematic networks. I'll come back to thematic networks in a minute or two. And the platform supports the development of joint statements that can contribute to discussions on EU health priorities. We all believe that cancer prevention and intellectual disability is important. We need to convince others, and we need to particularly convince the policymakers that this is a really important issue about which we need to have action. Okay. So what I really am asking of people is that they register and obtain access, and this option is open to anyone who wants to become an approved platform member. I joined a number of months ago, and I've seen a lot of really good stuff, and I've attended a few very interesting online webinars, and I was holding off to today to tell you about it. But our plan tomorrow at our management committee meeting is to actually work on how we can use this platform going forward for the CUPID action, because there are 3 different networks on that platform. There's a stakeholder network, an exchange network, and a thematic network. So the stakeholder network is for ongoing collaboration and knowledge exchange among organisations who are interested in a specific health area. An exchange network is for sharing good practices, training materials, and discussions among platform members. And the thematic network is a special one-year network created through an annual call for proposals, and it's focused on producing a joint statement on an EU health priority. And my thinking is that we should be thinking about this thematic network. So should we request the creation of a network, we would need a network title, the purpose and scope. We would need to know the target audience and stakeholders, the moderators, administrators, and the planned activities and content sharing approach. So there's a bit of work to be done. And what the network would do is we would invite members, share documents, use discussion forums, and moderate content and membership. The benefits of having this network are it increases visibility, networking, policy influence and dissemination. It allows us to build on what we have achieved to date with CUPID. So it's a one-year collaborative process. I believe that these thematic networks can create impact because you have stakeholder engagement leading to recommendations, joint statement, which will then lead to policy influence. And that is why I'm suggesting it. So it's a major agenda item at our management committee tomorrow as to how we progress this. It does require an application. We have to submit a proposal during their annual call. Last year it opened in September, October. We'll obviously be watching closely, and we'll try link with others who answered last year to see can we learn from them. The European Commission then evaluates the proposals against the current health priorities, and certainly in the European Commission documents, as Sarah discussed this morning, there are priority areas under which we fit very well, both across the disabilities and the health, the cancer. So selected organisations can become network leaders and coordinate the drafting of a joint statement over approximately 1 year. So we need to have our health policy topic aligned to EU priorities. We need a consortium of stakeholder organisations, and I believe we have those stakeholder organisations in our action. We need a plan to produce the joint statement, and we need evidence of stakeholder engagement and policy impact potential. Again, we have very strong stakeholder engagement and can build on that. And I definitely think we can have policy impact potential, because I believe that we are about aligning to the policies and improving policies. We believe in inclusivity, and we will ensure that our plan is both feasible and will have impact. So I'm calling on you all to join a preparatory coalition. Okay, and the next steps is tomorrow, those of you who are attending the Management Committee meeting will be discussing this, and we will be in touch with all our CUPID members with further details. Because I believe that we need it. We need this thematic network. Because CUPID was very much research focused and about evidence generation. But the DG Sante network is about policy focused and evidence translation and implementation and recommendations. And it'll bring us from where we are today to have further impact. So that is why I am suggesting this. So we still have some final work to do on the CUPID cost action. We are very nearly there, but we will have to pull together our working group leads to write a final report. I want to say a very big thank you, a míle bhuíochas, as we say Oscar Elga, a million thanks to you. A míle is 1,000 thanks. I'll think of the Irish word for a million in a minute, but 1,000 thanks to you all. I want to thank the Management Committee members. I really do want to thank our working group leads. They have just been fantastic. Yesterday we gave them a Bula bus. We should probably give them a cheer today. Hip hip hooray! Hooray! No, seriously. So we had wonderful, they were just brilliant. They went over and above in the amount of work. And over the 4 years, there has been a little bit of interchange of working group leads. So Peter, I know you probably don't see yourself as a current working group lead, but you did brilliant work as a working group lead. Martin Kuipens, who's here in the audience, again did working group lead. Let's not forget that they stood in as well and helped. So thank you. And we have Florian, who's here with us. And Florian did project management in the beginning. And then he went to another project. We were sorry to lose him, but he's obviously here today because he stayed engaged with us. And Francoise, our project manager, who is online at the moment. So Francoise. So Francoise, in case you missed it, that was a very big clap, because we are very grateful for all the work you did, and we look forward to having you back working with us again. And then I do want to thank Rosella and the Cost Office for giving us the opportunity to form what I think has been a wonderful network. So thank you all very, very much.
And finally, big thanks to the chair, Dr. Suzanne Denis. Big applause. We still have probably one more meeting until the end of the project in life for the project leaders, yeah?
Yes, we'll probably... Okay.
Next steps.
Next steps, we'll definitely be talking a lot to the working group leads, and we'll be communicating out across the action to you with what our plans are and what's happening. So this is not the last of us. We are still here. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and prepare for the new project proposal.